Okay, first of all, I would like to shower my greetings to Yehuda, Chatan, Baruch Hashem, Zchut Zera Shimshon, you never know. Baruch Hashem, it was a beautiful wedding, very, very simcha, and a lot of simcha, Baruch Hashem, shivnu b'ayim b'Yisrael, B'ezrat Hashem. So,
Amen, Mazel Tov, Amen.
B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so now we'll be doing Parashat Beha'alotcha, Dalet. Okay, Dalet, Perek Dalet. Sanhedrin. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says like this: Ve'yish'aru shnei anashim b'machane. And two men were left in the machane. Yeah, that's what the pasuk says. What does that mean? They were two left from what? Yeah, what happened there? Yesh omrim, that those who say, Bekalpi nishtairu. They were left from the choosing of the Goran. In other words, when Moshe Rabbeinu came and he had to Min Hashamayim, the Goran had to be, the lottery had to be in a way that you had to what do you call this? Choose the 70 elders of Am Yisrael, and that was done through a lottery, right? Of Min Hashamayim, like they did with dividing the land, okay, in the same format. So there were two that were left. In other words, they had 72, and they had to choose 70. Two of them, we'll see who they were. Two of them were left aside. Who are they? We'll see now. Asfali shivim ish miziknei Yisrael. So, who says to Moshe Rabbeinu, come and gather me 70 men miziknei Yisrael, from the elders of Am Yisrael, yeah, the Chachamim. Amar Moshe, Kesadei, I say, how should I do this? How should I come and make this lottery and choose these 70? Ve'evi ayin bet petakin. He brought 72 notes, pieces of paper. There was paper then, or cloth, a small notes, 72 of those. Put in a bag. וכתב על 70 זקן ושתיים הניח חלק. On 70 petakim, on 70 notes, he wrote zaken. Zayin kufnun. Zaken means he is zocher to be a zaken, meaning he's a sage. He merits to become a sage. Nashamayim. Ushtayim, and two of them within those 72, two of them heniach halak, empty. Palelam, mix them all, untanam bekalpi, and put them in the lottery, and then from there you start picking up. This one for this one, this for that. Okay, this is what the Gemara says. Rabbi Shimon Omer, b'machane nishtayeru. B'machane nishtayeru. We're going to see what that means. Makshim lama lo leMoshe lichtov al 70 petakim. Why did those who ask, why is it that Moshe Rabbeinu had to write 70 names? 70 zaken, like lines. No? Yeah, like you have 70 notes, and you have to write on them zaken. Why did he do that? היה לו להניח 70 חלק ושתיים כתובים. It's much easier. Why do all the work? Afuch. It's much easier to say 70 instead of writing 70 times the same thing. Those 70 are empty. Those who are empty, yeah, that means they become a sage. And those two have a comment on them that no, they're out of it. They're out of those 70. Okay? It's much easier, kevechol. I suppose you save more time, right? Instead of doing that. So what's the idea of writing and then passing it on? Umishi ale biado petek chalak yeh nimneh lazaken. Anybody who picks a clean note, meaning an empty note with no writing on it, he will be appointed as a sage. And somebody who gets a piece of paper which has on it something which is not which is written, it doesn't say what, he won't be chosen. Okay, so it's much easier. That's basically what the questions over here is on the Gemara. Vezu ina kushya klal, says the Zera Shimshon. That's not a question. We're going to see why. Very interesting idea. Good malach. Vezu ina kushya klal. This is not a good question. Why? שהגורל הזה שהיה נעשה בסיוע השכינה, this lottery that was done with the help of the Shekhinah of Hashem, היה לו להיות כמו באורים ותומים, had to be done in the same format as urim v'tumim, as the breastplate. The breastplate, you had 12. The breastplate, you have 12 stones. These stones would shine. When you ask a question, should we go to war? So then it would shine in like LED lights coming out kaviyachol, and they would shine in a form, and that would give you the letters that is needed to decipher what who wants, right? This is urim v'tumim. But it had to be done. So these 70 petakim had to be done in a format where it had to be similar to the breastplates. בסיוע השכינה היה לו להיות כמו באורים ותומים, שצריך לבחון ולברר השאלה. Now you have to do it in a way that you have to analyze and decipher what are the codes. For example, in the time of Hannah, right? Hannah, we spoke about last week. Hannah, she didn't have children for over 10 years. And, she was very worried, very sad. And she was davening a lot. Eliyahu Cohen saw her davening. And she's the first one, you should know, Hannah was the first one who davened in a silent mode. Whispering, not in a loud voice, whispering. And when Eliyahu Cohen, it was never done. She was the first one. From there we learn. That's how we learn how to daven in Amidah. We daven in a whispering manner. So too did Hannah. This is what we learn. We learn a few halachot from the tefillah of Hannah. So she was davening, and Eliyahu Cohen saw her, and he said, "What type of lady is this? How is she davening?" Right? And he asked the Urim Tumim what type of thing, and the Urim Tumim gave a word, Shin Chaf Resh He. Shin Chaf Resh He. So he deciphered it as Shikora. She's drunk. That's how Eliyahu Cohen understood those letters. And the truth is that no, he made a mistake in deciphering it. And obviously you say Kesara. Kesara, it's like Sarai Menu. Or Keshera. Same words. Keshera, Shikora, Kesara. Right? And from there you say, well, where should I go? Keshera and Kesara, okay, it's almost the same. You say, okay. But Shikora, that's an extreme. So Eliyahu Cohen, he deciphered it as Shikora, she's drunk. And really, it's not drunk. She's Keshera. She's okay. She's kosher. She's tzadeket. Okay? So over here we see that what there is an idea of deciphering, of getting letters and deciphering. This is min hashamayim. There's Ruach HaKodesh. This is part of the Ma'alach of Ruach HaKodesh. Not everybody can do it. Not anybody who would see the bracelet being used, you wouldn't know anything. You wouldn't know how to get the letters or anything. You need also somebody fitting for that. So the same way, says Zera Shimshon, the same way, those 70 notes had to be deciphered, right? Even though it was written, there was nothing more to do to them, right? But it had to be done in that format. You get the letters, and from there you get the answer, right? That's what he says here. We're on the second paragraph, third line. כמו באורים ותומים שצריך לבחון ולברר השאלה, כדמי הפרק ז' דיומה. אורים ותומים שמאירים ומשלימים את דבריהם. The אורים ותומים came and shone in terms those special stones would shine and would complete their words, meaning, they would answer your question. ובפילגש בגבעה לא פירשו דבריהם, כראוי לא נענו כחפצם ורצונם. And Pelegesh Agivah, some little war that they had, unfortunately, with Binyamin and Chule. Over there, they also used the Urim Vetumim, and they did not decipher it accordingly. And they made a mistake. They mamash made a mistake. David HaMelech, when he wanted to go to war, he would ask, should we go to war, not to war? And breastplate would answer. Urim Vetumim. Okay, we're now on the third paragraph on that first page. Another answer why it had to be written, those 70 notes. ועוד בעינן שהגורל בעצמו יאמר זקן ויגזול אומר וימשיך הקדושה. There's another, this is more on the spiritual side, right? And that is that there's an inyan, there's an idea coming forth, but in a powerful way, a spiritual way, that the goral has to be said. You get the notes, which is the zaken is written. Okay, somebody comes, picks up zaken, very nice. So it had to be said, zaken, right? Not to just see it. Okay, very nice. No. It had to be said, and that amira, that speaking, would bring kedusha, and it would gozer. Moshe Rabbeinu would come and get that note and say zaken. Zaken means he's a sage. It's like a smicha, giving a smicha to him, giving a special status. But it has to be done with form of verbally. V'yamshich kedusha, and then you will bring the kedusha. That will bring kedusha to the person. Kemo, second page. Kemo shematzino begoral shel chalukat haaretz, like we saw when we divided the land of Eretz Israel. Every tribe, 12 tribes, and each of them took a piece. What piece? Where is balagan? Imagine having to decide what piece everybody's going to take. It would be machlok until nowadays. Shalom, I want this piece. This is bigger. This is smaller. This is higher. So everything was done through Goran, through a lottery. Min hashamayim. Everyone was, had its portion. V'chen hasheni seirim. Even in Yom Kippur, Shirim HaKippurim, Ketuvim, what's written in the Seirim, in the goats, the two goats. One of them is written La Hashem, it has to be written. V'gam La Azazel, the other one was written La Azazel, to be thrown over the cliff. V'lo amina yichtov echad La Hashem, we don't say, they didn't write La Hashem and the other one empty. No, it had to be written. Right? It had to be written. V'echad chalak. אלא ודאי כדי להמשיך היי לכדאיתא. היי לכדאיתא. In order to bring the kedusha LaHashem, that goes to LaHashem, so that kedusha, all the kedusha goes there, and all the tumah, and all the averot, and all the things, he goes to the other one, and then it's thrown, kapara, gamanu, goes out, וזהו. kedusha וזה להכניע קליפה. in order to subjugate the klipa, which is the side of the impure side. Okay, so we see from here two answers. Zera Shimshon gives two answers why it had to be written. These 70 notes, these 70 pieces of paper to be written in zaken.
Excuse me, the Aramaic words, what do they mean? Hai kedaitai?
This is hai kedaitai, this one as it's written, the hai kedaitai, meaning this one la Hashem and this one to Azazel.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody going according to their path. That's what it means.
Okay, thank you.
This is as it's written, and this one as it's written, as he said. Okay, now we do see. What do we see from here? We see that there's an inyan of speaking. When you speak, you bring certain kedusha to the world, to the person. When you give a bracha, for example, right? You give a bracha. So you give a bracha to a person. That bracha is enveloping the person, is giving him a special aura, special blessing over him, right? It's very the same Chaz Shalom when the person curses Chaz Shalom, right? So that also has an effect. Everything has an effect. The Lashon Hara that we say, all the brachot, tefillot, the wording has a tremendous power. Now, there's a big segula. There's a big segula that's brought down in the Ben Ish Chai and a few others. I think also Rabbi Chaim Kanievski and others. That on Motzai Shabbat, we say Barechu, right? So the first Barechu, go early, and don't go late, go early, and over there you'll hear the Chazan say Barechu. Like we all hear, nachon? So what should you say? You should say Barechu, you should answer Baruch Hashem Le'olam Va'ed, but in a very lengthy, right? And in a nice tune. Yeah, sing it a bit. Baruch Hashem Le'olam, say it in a singing format, right? And have kavanah, that when you say it, to bring the kedusha of Shabbat into the week, into the coming week that you're going into, right? The kedusha and all the good hashpaot, all the good influence that you've done, all the mitzvot, all the things that you've done on Shabbat, that should be a tremendous power for the coming week. And that anybody who does that you have tremendous asacha, tremendous success. You should know. It's a big. The Ben Ish Chai brings it down. So it's important to. It's the same idea. Yeah, when the person says it brings kedusha from Shabbat to Chol. Okay, now we are on the second page, first column, second paragraph. Ela. So we had the question, right? So some asked the question as to why did you write? It's better not to write the 70 notes and only write 2. It's easier. No, the answer is that there's a kedusha has to be done, and also we said that the Olim Vetomim is deciphered, so too we do it in that format as well. Okay, so basically we answered. Zera Shimshon answered the questions. Basically, it's not a question, and so he says Zera Shimshon, if you want to really ask a question, so this is a question you should be asking. The what? Ela ikashya, hakashya. If you're going to ask, so then ask this question. Ma tzorech haya leMoshe livror mikol shevet b'shaveh? Yeah, the first question is, we're asking, Hakadosh Baruch Hu says you have to have 70 elders, which basically is, or 72, 6 from every shevet, 6 sages from every tribe. So he says over here, Ma tzorech haya leMoshe livror mikol shevet b'shaveh? Why do you have to get 6 from Reuven, 6 from Shimon, 6 from Levi? Just get the best of the best. Who cares? Maybe they're all from Shevet Levi. Get the best, finished. היה לו לברור ה-70 זקנים היותר ראויים מכל ישראל. You should get the best of all עם ישראל. יהיו מאיזה שבט שיהיו, מה אכפת לי? What do I care if it's from this shevet, that shevet? It's like Beha'alotcha. It's like the reform, judicial reform that's happening now in Israel. That you have to get from this and this, from a few people. You can't get only from one. Like say we are the best, right? Chaz Shalom. This is not even. It's Beha'alotcha. But the idea over here is that why should we get 6 from every tribe? Maybe you won't get the best. You won't get the best if you get 6 of each tribe, as opposed if you get from all of them the best of all of them. It could be that Yehuda are the cleverest, or I don't know, yeah. יהיו מאיזה שבט שיהיו, וכמו שהיו נוהגים במינוי הסנהדרין. Like we saw when they chose the Sanhedrin. When they chose the Sanhedrin, they didn't choose 6 from each. No, the best. We only get the best. וכמו שבמצרים היו 70 זקנים. Also the 70 elders that were in Mitzrayim that came to Paro with Moshe, right? When the Moshe came the first time to Paro, so he came with the 70 elders. Who were these 70 elders? What? 6 from each tribe? No, they were the best. כמו שכתב הבחיה, שמעולם לא נפסק מניין זה מישראל, נגד 70 נפש ירדו למצרים. 70 was a very special number. So those 70 had to be done from, they were connected the 70 souls that came into Mitzrayim with Yaakov at the beginning. So 70 had to be 70, right? And Kivachol, they come from all over Mitzrayim. ועוד יש, another third paragraph, ועוד יש לדקדק, דלדעת יש אומרים, כמו שפירש הראם, דבריהם והחזיק דבריו גם מהרש"ל, okay, just giving the source, גם מהרש"ל בחוכמת שלמה ואין שם, וכן מפשט תלמוד על פרק כמה, לסוטה, דכאמר, כמה צדיקים היו שם, משה, אהרון, יהושע, אלדד ומידד ושם זקנים. He says, how many tzaddikim were there at the time? Right? How many tzaddikim were there? tzaddikim? הכי משמע, שאלדד ומידד היו אותם שעלו בידם פתק חלק. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, remember I asked in the beginning, who were there? There were 70 people, 70 sages that were being chosen, and another 2. Those 2 out. Who were those 2 out? Who were those 2? Eldad, Meidad. I'm sure you've heard the name, right? Eldad, Meidad, 2 brothers. Who were they? Does anybody know? Who were they? Something like that. Any answers? I'll give you the answer. They were the brothers of Moshe Rabbeinu. You understand? The brothers of Moshe Rabbeinu, the step brothers of Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because Yocheved, the mother, she divorced Levi. She divorced Amram. She divorced Amram, father of Moshe Rabbeinu. When all the Gezerah, Yocheved didn't agree to what was happening. No, we shouldn't be divorcing. What did she do? She married another person, and in the meantime, she had two children, Eldad and Meidad. Then, don't know what happened. They divorced where he was, and then they remarried. In those times, you could do it. In those times, you could marry, even though she married already after the divorce. After the divorce, she married. You can take her back again. Nowadays, forget. Nowadays, from the Torah onwards, right? That's all.
Do we know how many years, between their separation, their divorce, before they got back together?
I don't know, but you can make the cheshbon. Because Eldad and Meidad they were brothers, unless they were twins, which could be, it could be that they were twins. In those times, well, no, if it wasn't from Shevet Levi, so they probably had 6 at the time. So Nachman 6 at the time. So then, within a year, 9 months and a bit, whatever it is, and after that, that was from the Gezerah. Then after a while, Miriam and Neviah said, listen, you're doing your Gezerah, Amram, Abba, right? Amram, his Gezerah is worse than Paro. His Gezerah was on Zachar and Nekeva, on male and female. Yeah, all the children of Am Yisrael. Because everybody got divorced. Everybody looked to go divorced. Actually, interesting. Everybody got divorced, but but the wife, Yocheved, she married at the time when everybody got divorced. Because if the Amram was the Gadol Adon at the time, he was the head, he was the chief. So whatever he did, everybody did as well. So they all.
So I'm sorry. So what is the source of that?
Yeah, the Gemara.
Which Gemara?
Oh, sorry, that they were brothers?
Not only, well, that she remarried and had, yeah.
Maybe the Gemara. Maybe the Gemara in Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin Daf Yud Zayin, Amud Aleph. Should be there. I'll try and see. Please, if you want, remind me. Send me a note, and I'll try to find the source. But this is, it's a known thing. Al-Dad and Meidad they were brothers, and they were very, very. They had Ruach HaKodesh. We're going to see now. So let's go back again. So they were brothers. So they were brothers. They were step brothers from the mother's side. Who were the ones who got that empty note? There were 70 notes, 72 notes. 2 of them were empty. The other 70 had written on it Zaken. So those 2 empty, who got it? The brothers of Moshe. The brothers of Moshe. Chalak. Kashe tuva. אם רצונו של ברוך הוא שיהיו כל העין בית נביאים, למה לא ביררם כולם מתחילה? בלא שום גורל. In other words, we see that Eldad and Meidad had Nevuah, had Ruach HaKodesh. They were prophets themselves. They had also the divine intervention. So if Hashem wanted them also to have Ruach HaKodesh, why did he do the notes, the 72? Because it said chosen the 72 on the spot. Again, if Hashem wanted those 72 to be prophets, which they were, 70 of them became prophets from the Zaken. The moment you say Zaken, he's a sage. Sage also has the ma'ala of having nevuah, of prophecy. And the other 2, Eldad and Meidad, they also have prophecy from their own, we'll see now. So at the end of the day, all of them are Nevi'im. So why didn't Hashem do this? Why did he do the petakim? What was the point of doing the notes? Lama lo biram kula mitechila belo shum goral. He could have chosen those 72 on the spot without any lottery. ועוד למה אדרבה זכו אלא השניים שקיבלו נבואתם מהקדוש ברוך הוא, ואילו ה70 נאצלה עליהם הרוח מנבואתו של משה בלבד, וכמו שכתב מהרש"א. So the Maharsha says, maybe you have to look into the Maharsha as well, what I might say it. The Maharsha says as well that we see that these 2 had a plus. We're going to see now later on, if we reach there, they had 5 pluses, 5 advantages over the other 70 sages. These 2 who were not chosen, they had 5 advantages over the other 7. One of those advantages is that when they had nevuah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. These 2, they got the nevuah directly from Hashem. The nevuah that these 70 sages had were through Moshe Rabbeinu, which is different. When there was a point in time when it stopped, and that's it. And the other 70 sages didn't get it, didn't have the nevuah as they had before through Moshe. The one who stopped. But with those two, Dad Umeidad, who gave it directly to them all the time. That's how the Mersha explains. V'yesh lomar. And then the last paragraph, first column. V'yesh lomar. Lefi shemispar ha-shiv'im, number 70 is a special number. Mispar chashuv v'nichmad. Important and honorable. Like you reach 70 years old. Okay, from that point onwards, you're considered zaken. Right? We might not like to be called that, an old man already, but in Torah values, you consider zaken, and people must stand in front of you when you come into the room, when you come into shul. And it's a special, even if he's Am Haaretz, doesn't have to be a Talmid Chacham or somebody important. Even Am Haaretz, he doesn't know how to read, he doesn't know anything, but he's reached 70 years old. That's enough of, he's acquired so much knowledge, life knowledge. He's clever in life. He's already picked up many things that he's gone through, all the tests and all the things, all the quantities that he had within 70 years. That makes him chacham, and that's enough for us to get up for him. Even though he himself is might be big zero, right? But he is not a zero because he's got this acquired chokhmah, wealth in terms of wisdom, of life in general. כמו שאמרו ז"ל, שיש 70 אומות, there's 70 nations, ו70 שרים, 70 princesses up in Shamayim, ו70 malachim, 70 angels, but obviously there's billions of angels. 70, we're talking about the 70 angels which correspond to every nation of the world. הסובבים את כיסא הכבוד, that are surrounding the throne of glory that Hashem, והם שבע, כל אחד, 7 each, כלול מ10, which is also encountered with 10, which is 10 times 7 is 70, שהוא כללות כל הכוחות העליונים, which embody all the powers up in Shamayim. Okay, but again, he's going to bring a few ideas of number 70. We see the idea of 70 here in this world, 70 up in Shamayim as well. ובשבעים נפש ירדו מצרים, 70 people came to Mitzrayim at the beginning with Yaakov, נגד 70 שרים, אשר שלטו בישראל בזמן הגלות, against those 70 princesses that controlled Am Yisrael when they were in Galut. ואף מספר הי"ב, so we have the idea of 70, now we have the idea of י"ב, 12 שבטים, 12 tribes, הם כנגד י"ב מזלות, it goes against the 12 zodiacs. בי"ב צירופי השם המיוחד, there's 12 combinations of the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Yud Ke Vav Ke, right? There's 12 combinations there. There's, you can Yud Ke Vav Chule. That is, what do you call this? That is 12 as well. That kavanah, you have kavanah also for Rosh Chodesh, for every month of the year for Musaf. והכתוב אומר, כל אלה שבטי ישראל, 12, דוגמת הי"ב צינורו של מעלה. So, we do see, there's a few examples of 12 mazalot, 12 shevatim, that's the name of Hashem. Okay. וזהו, so we have the 70 and the 12. We're trying to build up an answer now. וזהו איש אשר כברכתו ברך אותם. לשון בריחה, שהוא צינו של מעלה. We have our bracha that we get. our blessings that we get, all the shefa that we get from Shamayim, comes from certain tzinorot, meaning what do you call this? Channels of kedusha that come from Shamayim, right? Obviously, it comes through worlds, and it's complicated. Yeah, Apia Kabbalah. צינו של מעלה. Sorry. שהוא צינו של מעלה, כן, בירך אותם למטה. So those 12, the 12 channels in Shamayim, and those 12 come down to this world as well. משום מה כי עתה שהיו באים לקבל השפע קדושה והנבואה, רצה שכל אחד יקבל השפעתו מהצינור שלו דווקא, ולקח מכל שבט בשווה. So we had a question, why is it from those 70 only they chose 6 from each shevet, correct? Equal. We asked why did it cast, when you get from each shevet we should get the best, and the answer is no, that we should get each of them got from their corresponding channel, right? Shevet Reuven, for example, he has his channel, special channel where all the shefa comes. So these 6 would get it directly from them, and it had to be equal. ולפי שבחושן היו י"ב אבנים, since in the breastplate there were 12 stones, ועל כל אחד 6 אותיות, and each stone had 6 letters inscribed on them. שבין הכל הם סוד העין שמות. So 12 times 6 is 72. Those are 72 names of הקדוש ברוך הוא. בילל גם הוא מספר העין בית. That's why הקדוש ברוך הוא chose 72 elders. Right? The 70 sages and these 2 are דן ומידן. כן, let's do a bit more. ואם תאמר, אם כן, למה לא היו הזקנים נעים מספר העין בית? For a moment, if you say that there's 12 stones and 6 letters and they correspond to 72 and those 72 are 72 sages, so why didn't they choose 72 sages? How much were they? 70 sages and the other 2 extra. Right? No extra, but they're not part of the sages, but if you're so 72, so you should complete the 72 as well. ויש לומר שסוד הסנהדרין הם 70. The idea of Sanhedrin is it should be 70. והוא מספר חשוב, אבל היה משה על גביהם, שהם 71. So the big Sanhedrin, there were 71 judges. 70 chosen now, and Moshe Rabbeinu above them. והקדוש ברוך הוא על משה ועל כולם. And הקדוש ברוך הוא himself, כביכול, is above Moshe and over all the 70 other sages. סך הכל 72, right? If we count Hashem. It's an idea coming through. ונמצא שעולים בין הכל שם הגדול שם אב. So we see that if we have 70 sages, Moshe Rabbeinu, which is he's overlooking those 70 sages, like he's head, right? So 71, and Baruch is overlooking everybody. So that's 72. That's Shem HaGadol. Shem HaGadol is Yud Ke Vav Ke. Why is it 72? Why is 72? It's the Gematria 72. How do we get 72 from Shem Hashem? Does anybody know? So the answer is, you open up the letters of Yud Ke Vav Ke. How do you spell Yud? Yud Vav Dalet. So write it, Yud Vav Dalet. And then Ke is He and then Yud. There's 3 ways of doing it, but He and Yud. And then Vav, Yud, Vav. And then the last one you say He, Yud as well. If you get the gematria of all of that, is the Shem Hashem HaGadol. Then you get 72. The gematria 72. וזה סוד, הנה השם ניצב על חומת ענך. לכן מספר העין קיבלו נבואתם ממשה ממה שנאצל מלוכו עליהם. So those 70 sages, they were able to draw their prophecy from Moshe Rabbeinu. שהרי הגדול שבצדיקים מלמד את כולם. Who is the head of the Sanhedrin? Moshe Rabbeinu. So he's the one who teaches all of them. So they're all dependent on Moshe Rabbeinu. So he's the one who, through him, the nevuah comes. והם כולם תפלים לו. They're all tafel, they're all secondary to him. אבל אותם השתיים, but these two, אלדד ומידד, הנשארים, אי אפשר שמשה יאציל עליהם. It's impossible that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be on top of them. Why? שהרי אחד הוא כנגדו. One of them is in the same path with him. שהוא הגדול, שבדיינים, ואיך יעשהו כמותו. How can it be he's going to be like him? והשני, the second one, אלדד או מידד, הוא כנגד השכינה. We said, we have Moshe Rabbeinu and then we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? So we have Eldad and then we have Meidad, which is also in comparison to Moshe and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. והשני הוא נגד השכינה, השורה עליהם. וגם זה אי אפשר שמשה יציל עליו. And that's impossible that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be on top of him, meaning over him. Okay, we're now third page.
I'm sorry, can you go over that again, please?
Yeah, sure. From what point? From the beginning?
So, right. So the place of Eldad and Meidad and how, like the sort of the last part of it, of that ketta.
So we see like this.
Just clarify that, yeah.
Okay, so what do we see? We see the 72. The question is like this. We have 72, correct?
Right.
Well, sorry, we had 70 sages and 2. Eldad and Meidad. Sach HaKol, we have 72. Now, if they all had nevuah, so why didn't Hashem already give nevuah to them? Why didn't they have petakim? That was one of the questions. The other question is, why weren't they 72? Why were there 70 and then Moshe Rabbeinu? So 70 sages plus Moshe Rabbeinu. Maybe they should have been 72. Sach HaKol. How 72? We had the 70 sages, right? Then we had Moshe Rabbeinu over, meaning he's the leader, he's the head of the Sanhedrin, so that's 71. And then we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu overlooking all of them. Yeah, Kiviyachol, like the brothers of Yosef, they were 9 of them, and they were metzaref. They brought in Kiviyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the 10th, right? Okay. Kabbalah, right? But they use Kiviyachol the Shekhinah in order to join them as part of the 10, and then they could do a cherem on Yosef HaTzadik v'chole. So the same idea. They use Kiviyachol. So we have Hashem, which is overlooking Moshe Rabbeinu and the other 70 sages. Okay, so we have Moshe and the 70. Now we have Eldad Umeidad. So instead of having Moshe and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have Eldad and Meidad. What do you call this? Sorry, people calling here now. You have Eldad Umeidad in place of Kiviyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu, take the place of those 70 and 71, which is Eldad, and Meidad takes the place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabbeinu.
So how? Okay, I hear what the Zera Shimshon is saying, but how can he say that? How could he equivalate? Well,
we're going to see why. Because good point. Why? Because he's trying to give the idea that these two, Eldad and Meidad, have no connection to Moshe Rabbeinu. They are not under the auspices of Moshe Rabbeinu. They are separate. They got their nevuah, as I said before, they got their prophecy through HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly, and not through Moshe Rabbeinu. The other 70, they got their prophecy from Moshe Rabbeinu. He's the eldest, right? And they're all talui, they're all dependent on him. Eldad Umeidad didn't get the petek, but you would have thought, they're not fitting to become sages. The answer, they were greater than them. They were greater than them. Okay, so maybe if we carry on, maybe we'll talk. Let's see. I'll explain. It will explain further. Okay, we're now on the third page. ומשום אחי, הוא צריך שיאציל עליהם הקדוש ברוך הוא, ולפיכך היו יותר חשובים מכל ה-70. And that's why, in other words, we see that כביכול Hashem was looking over Moshe Rabbeinu and also the other 70. So Eldad Umeidad had this level, not of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, obviously, but a level beyond Moshe Rabbeinu, not within his framework, within his auspices. And therefore, it says here, Hayu yoter chashuvim mikol hashivim. They were more important than those 70 sages. וכשאמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא למשה, אספה לי 70 איש, when Hashem said, come, let's gather, I want you to gather 70 men, היינו, שאלו דווקא יהיו נאצלים ממשה. What you're trying to say is they should come from Moshe. They are going to be within the auspices, within the hashpa'ah, within the influence of Moshe Rabbeinu. כדכתיב, והצלתי מן הרוח אשר עליך ושמתי עליהם. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who brought them to that level, כביכול, and ושמתי עליהם, I will come and place upon them this prophecy over these 70. ואינך אינמה, שהיה רוצה שיהיו עין בית, וליתן את רוחו על השניים היתרים. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to give רוח הקודש over to them as well. ומשום שלא היה יודע, בוודאי אם ישפיע הקדוש ברוך הוא עליהם הנבואה, כתב חלק. He didn't know, Moshe Rabbeinu, he wanted to bring 72 sages. But he didn't know that if Hashem was going to bring נבואה to these two, אלדד ומידד. ואמר לו המקום, לא חפץ בך, אני מה אעשה לך? כלומר, אני אין לי כוח להציל אלא על ה-70. In other words, he only had power, Moshe Rabbeinu had only power to bring nevuah, to bring this prophecy, level of prophecy, to these 70, but not more than 70. So these two, what's he going to do? He wanted to give to these two, but didn't have any more. Especially that Hashem said to him, Esfali Shivim Ish, I gather me 70. 70 and not 72. We're now on the second.
Question.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Korah considered as one of the 70 sages? If he was from the tribe of Levi, in order not to have the sort of rebellion that he caused and stop that?
No, two different things. First of all, he might not have had the age or the chokhmah. You could only get 6 from what do you call this? Korach was supposed to be the head of all the Leviim. The same way as Kohen Gadol, he should be a Levi Gadol. Who's going to be Levi Gadol? Korach. Korach was supposed to be Levi Gadol. He had the position, he was supposed to get that position, but because of Machloket, he got nothing.
But surely he had the chokhmah if he was sort of a tribe.
There were other people greater than him. There must have been, yeah. If he wasn't chosen, so that means they what do you call this? There were others were greater than him. So yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let's read a few more lines and then we'll pack up. וניחא השתא שתקף ומיד נתנבאו מעניין מיתתו של משה. Moshe, right after we see this parasha in Beha'alotcha, we see that the Eldad Meidad starts to prophesize over Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to die. That's what he said. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to die soon. He doesn't say soon, but Moshe Rabbeinu is going to die. He is not going to take Am Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. Yoshua got married, got mad on them. That's what they had the power from here. You see, Zera Shimshon is bringing here the idea that we had the 70 Nevi'im, Moshe Rabbeinu, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Now, in its place, he had Eldad and Medad. Eldad and Medad had the Nevu'ah, much greater Nevu'ah than these 70, to the point that they themselves, they came and they started prophesying on Moshe Rabbeinu. On Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, Moshe Rabbeinu is not going to take Am Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. It's going to be after Eretz Yisrael, not into Eretz Yisrael. Ve'od nidaberu al inyan Gog uMagog. And they started also prophesying what's going to happen to Gog uMagog in our times. In our times, imagine 3,335 years ago. They were mitnaveh on Gog uMagog. She'az v'haya Hashem lemelech hakol haaretz. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be the king over the world. Everybody is going to recognize. V'yeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad. And the name of Hashem is going to be one. Ve'Gog uMagog. What is Gog uMagog? Hem shiv'im. The gematria of Gog uMagog. I don't know if it's with a vav. Maybe somebody be quick. Let's see. Gog uMagog. How much is Gog? Gog is 6, 12, 12 and 12, 24, 24 and 40, 64 and 6. The vav. You have to say Gog uMagog. Right? So Gog uMagog has 70, which corresponds to Shiv'im Sare Umot Keminyan Gog uMagog. These 70 nations, that's the Milchama of Gog uMagog, that's why it's called Gog uMagog. There must be a reason why. But the Gematria is basically connoting that these 70 nations are all going to go in war against Am Yisrael in the future. I don't know, things are getting very heated up everywhere. וכתיב, והתגדלתי והתקדשתי, ואלו השניים זכו לחמישה דברים יותר מה70 זקנים. These two Nevi'im, Eldad and Medad, they had 5 advantages, they had 5 special things over these 70 sages. כדי תביעקות, הפסוק וישארו שני אנשים במחנה, ונמצאו יתרים על הזקנים ב5 דברים. 5 things, I think. הזקנים, and we're just going to go front to the end of the paragraph. נמצאו יתרים על הזקנים ב5 דברים. הזקנים לא נתנבאו אלא למחר. והם נתנבאו מה שעתיד להיות. The first difference is that these Eldad and Medad, they were able to have nevuah over the future. Nowadays, they were able to prophesy much further. The other 70, only machar, what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, very short distance. Another one, הזקנים לא נתפרשו שמותם. The other 70, the 70 elders, their names were not mentioned. ואלו נתפרשו שמותם. These 70 brings the חשיבות. It could be that maybe Korach was also but I don't think so. It's not mentioned. Could be. I don't think so, because if not, it would be maybe more, more tranquilo. הזקנים פסקה נבואתם, ואלו לא פסקו נבואתם. Those 70, there was a point where the nevuah, the prophecy finished. They stopped. But these two, they kept on going. הזקנים נבואתם היה משל משה. These 70, they prophesied through Moshe. אבל אלו הייתה מהקדוש ברוך הוא. These two, they were able to prophesy through הקדוש ברוך הוא directly, direct line. And the 5th one, הזקנים לא נכנסו לארץ. Those 70 sages, they did not go, they were not zochet, they didn't merit to go to Eretz Yisrael. ואלו נכנסו לארץ. And these two, Eldad and Medad, had the koach of going to Eretz Yisrael as well. So they were very, very, very special. So B'ezrat Hashem, I'll try and see if I can find these this source that Eldad and Medad were the step-brothers of Moshe Rabbeinu, and the whole story with Yocheved. Okay, so B'shat Musachar, thank you very much for joining, and B'ezrat Hashem, and the zchut of Zera Shimshon should bring upon you Parnasa Tova, Hakala Tova, Mazon Osher Chavod, Habe Zchuyot, and Briut, Simcha Rabba, and Shiduchim Tovim, and everything good, B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi.
So Shalom, take care. God to
Rabbi.
B'shat Tova.
See you on Wednesday.
Shalom, shalom, take care Wednesday. Shalom, bye-bye.